I'm doing a short video here just showing how I changed battery on a Omega Seamaster professional quartz watch. This is a watch I recently showed because it was having the 4-second interval movement on the second hand, indicating that the battery was running low. As I had mentioned in the other video, it's a good idea to not let the battery fully drain. So if you see the second hand jumping in 4-second intervals, it's wise to go ahead and get it changed, or order a battery and change it yourself, as I'm going to do here. So first step is you take the tool you have to open the case, whether it's a 2-prong or 3-prong. You use the wheel on the tool to adjust the prongs to match the indentations on the caseback, and then you try to turn. Sometimes it can be very difficult, especially when you're using the cheap tools like this. They don't have the best grip, and you want to be very careful because if you don't press very firmly and are not very steady with your hands, you can easily scratch the caseback. You see the mesh bracelet I have on this watch. I actually didn't put that on because I wanted to wear it, but because it helps me to hold the watch when I'm turning the tool. I find a leather strap is a little more flexible, so less firm for holding onto the watch, and the regular bracelet can get in the way when you're trying to use the tool. So I actually really like putting a mesh strap that you can open up like this on the watch. So just loosen the case back there. And for this part, it's recommended to wear gloves if you're handling batteries. I've read that oil from skin can interfere with battery function. So just doing it here to be extra careful. So the anti-magnetic cover is just sitting there. It's a little bit stuck on this watch very slightly. I just used a very narrow end of a tool to just lift it. And there's the old battery. It is a number 371 battery for this watch. However, you can use a larger battery, the 395. So you just lift under the battery with any kind of a tool. It can be a pin, anything, just lift it up. Sorry, it's not fully in view here. I was doing this behind a stand holding the camera, so I didn't have the best view. So there you saw a 395 battery. That's a little thicker. It'll last longer than a 371, and it fit. And every time I've changed one of these, it's fit fine. I've seen conflicting information about which one, 371 or 395, which one's the official battery or officially recommended battery by Omega for this 1538 movement. But as you can see, it sits there fine. You would just want to make sure, if you're doing this on a different watch, that the battery does not sit too high, because you don't want it to interfere with the closing of the watch case. So there, put back the anti-magnetic cover. Just make sure it's seated where it's supposed to be. It's very easy to see that it's in place. And the case back is, you just want to find, lightly turn until you can feel that the grooves have engaged with the case. You can try to turn it as much as possible by hand, and then just use the tool to turn it a little more until it's firm. Obviously, when you're doing a battery change like this, you're not assuring that the watch will have the same water resistance because you're not testing it. So if you do opt to do something like this, I would definitely be more careful than normal with the watch, in terms of, it's fine to wash your hands with the watch or those type of activities, but I don't think I would swim with a watch where I change the battery in this sort of casual manner. But that's up to each person to decide. You can also take it a step further and change the gasket when you change the battery, but again, I'm not taking this watch anywhere where that's a concern, so I'm okay with doing it that way. I'm just making sure everything works Unfortunately, when I changed this battery, the watch was right before changing dates. So, um, in retrospect, I would have rather made sure that there wasn't a date change underway before I changed the battery. So that's something else to look out for. But everything's working fine. Um, the quick set hour, which is a nice feature of this movement, is also working fine. And yeah, doing it this way, your costs are very minimal. The tool that I was using is a about $5 if I recall. There are even cheaper ones that are $3, and batteries are very cheap when you buy them online. You can get them for $2 or less, and if you collect watches and have a number of them, I think it's a wise move to do battery changes yourself. You can save a lot of money over time. If you do plan to do many of them, you can get a better tool. Better tools always make the job easier and less chance for mistakes. I hope this was helpful for anyone considering to do it. It's not that hard. I used to have a watch shop change the battery for me, and then I said I'll learn it. So anyway, thanks again for watching.